A really common question that we receive at our extension offices around the state this time of year is when should we plant our seeds? If we look around, we can see that it's still a little early to put seeds in the ground here, but there are 4 things to think about when wanting to plant seeds. The high tunnel, like many of our other season extending devices, work great on 3 of the 4 areas of germinating seed. The first thing we need to worry about when we germinate seed is soil moisture. We have to have enough moisture in the soil for a seed to germinate. Here's a meter. If Mother Nature doesn't give it to us, of course we can get enough moisture using the garden hose. The 3 other things that we think about when germinating seeds are, first, the seed variety. A lot of these seeds will germinate early in the year, like leaf lettuce, spinach, kale. My personal favorite is bok choy. A lot of the times we might use spinach as an indicator. We plant it. When it germinates and grows, the other plants will also work. 2 things that we need to think of in harmony are air temperature and soil temperature. These early season plants can freeze, but we need an air temperature of about 40 degrees for them to grow during the day. We take our soil thermometer here, we put it about 4 inches into the ground. We're at about 40 degrees, and that works for these early season plants. We of course need at least 33, 34 degrees for these seeds to germinate. This is Hudson Hill, University of Wyoming Extension. You're watching From the Ground Up.
One of the most important decisions a gardener will ever make is where to locate their garden. And once you have that site selected, there's some things that you have to take into consideration. Whether the location is level, the amount of sunlight that location gets through the course of the day, and finally, what's the soil structure of that particular location. If you're not familiar with your soil type, the other thing that you probably need to do is submit a sample for analysis. And if you don't understand how to do that, please contact your local extension office. For this particular location, the things that we need to do in order to get this site prepared is we're going to have to level it out, take care of the weeds, and actually beside those things, the soil structure here is pretty good. I can get a shovel into the soil, get it turned over, and there's a wide variety of clods that are in this soil and ready to go. The one thing that we want to avoid at any location is destroying the soil profile through recreational rototilling.
The tomato plant is a great plant. When selecting the tomato plant, we want to look for certain things. We want to pick a plant with overall health. We want to look for any broken branches. We especially want to look for plants that are growing straight and don't have any discoloration on the leaves, any signs of disease, or any insects on them. When we select the plant, most of the tags will tell us how many days it is to maturity. We want to certainly select a plant that will work in where we live and in our zone. When we transplant the tomato plant, we can gently take the tomato plant out, remembering that we can pluck the bottom branches off and actually plant the plant deeper than where it is in the pot. Many people like to select plants with blossoms on them and maybe even some tomatoes. Remember, with tomato plants, size doesn't necessarily matter. The more blossoms and the more tomatoes there are on the plant, the more transplanting stress the plant's going to go through. A big red tomato is a great addition to any kitchen table, and I hope many of you have lots this year. This is Hudson Hill, University of Wyoming Extension, and you're watching From the Ground Up.